Babble with Ben.
This podcast is recorded on the lands of the Wurundjeri peoples of the Kulin Nation. I wish to acknowledge them as traditional owners. I would also like to pay my respects to their elders, past and present, and Aboriginal elders of other communities who may be participating today. Welcome to the Babble, Mason Moon.
Hello.
How are you?
Ben? Good, how are you?
Now, one of my previous guests has hyped you up a lot. Abstract Dojo, Zach Ferguson has hyped you up a lot, and so it's good to have you on the show.
Yeah, good to be here, man. Good to be here.
Even if it's a bit of a cold, wet, sort of Melbourne morning. Hey?
I'm in Crocs.
I saw that, yeah.
I'm in my Crocs today.
Yeah, no, if that was one trend from 20 years ago, I would never have thought was going to kick off. But there they are, high fashion.
I got it as a birthday present and I was like, it is awesome. It is awesome. I've been hyping up Crocs for a long time. Yeah, I was a TN guy, but now I'm moving into Crocs. I'm moving away. Not just Crocs, but like, you know, other things, other brands, I don't know. It gets old. You got to experiment, you know?
You've got to, yeah. You can't be wearing the same stuff from like 10 years ago, hey?
Well, that's what style is, like trends. They evolve, they change, people change. And, you know, like what I wear is kind of a reflection of who I am at present. You know what I mean? So like if you look at a photo of anyone from back in the day, then they'll be wearing different shit and you'll be like, okay, well, that's who they were. Maybe not necessarily who they are going to be forever, you know, but it's what trends are. They change. You know?
Well, it's funny because, like, you know, like the best photos, like if you look at photos from the 80s, right?
Yeah.
The best photos from the 80s are with people that have got like teased up hair and like denim jackets and like, you know, crazy. Like, whereas if you were, and it's like today, like, you know, like you've got to sort of like, okay, you know, I've got the mullet. It's like, you know, you look back 10 years ago, oh yeah, that was like peak 2023. Mullet and mustache.
Well, there are certain things that, you know, the trends, they come back around and that. And I think now it's kind of, there is a style guide for like this era, but it's also kind of a mashup of what's been done in the past. I think now we're starting to reflect and bring back different things instead of, you know, we are trying new things, but not necessarily as much as we used to. And now we're kind of picking up things from the 70s, the 60s, all of those eras, and they're coming back. And same with equipment and things like that. Now, like vintage and retro is so cool. Like it's so in at the moment. So, you know, and God forbid you have old baseball cards or something like that. It sells for ridiculous amounts of money. Ridiculous, man. It's crazy.
That's one of the good things about the internet is that you've kind of got this amazing perspective on everything. Like, for example, with hip-hop, right? Like you can have bits from the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, the 2010s.
Yep.
No worries because, you know, you can get that sample pack of 808s or you can get, you know, those bass lines from, you know, soul records and stuff like that because you've just got all of it right there. Whereas in the, you know, in the 90s, right, if you had to find that 80s stuff, you'd be it's not as simple as bringing up YouTube or bringing up Instagram and looking up 80s fashion, right? You had to go and get books.
Literally books, CDs, whatever was out at the time, and you've got to chop it up and all the equipment is ridiculous, and now it's just like go on YouTube, download it, put it in Ableton and chop it up. And I don't know, it's good in a way, but at the same time, it makes it easy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is like anyone can do it, but the people who do it well, you know what I mean? That's like impressive. And you can be impressed by that still, despite knowing that they're using a modern platform. You know what I mean? But I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of people who use old equipment and stuff, and it's still very in, and it's very, not frowned upon. It's like wow, that's cool. He's using something that's old. That's cool. Like Joey Valance used a Nintendo. What was it? A fucking DS. To make Did they make a video on it or something like that?
Oh, really?
They made a video I think on a DS, and it was crazy. And it's like a DS. Who's had a DS in 15 years? Yeah.
I just saw, on a bit of a tangent, right? I just saw that the Nintendo Switch has become the number 2 selling console of all time. Yeah, just below the PS2. Just below the PS2.
The PS2,
and I'm like, wow. I had a Nintendo 64 back in the day, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, to think that a Switch has not only sold more than a Nintendo 64, it's sold more than a Nintendo 64, a Super Nintendo and an NES combined now. Like, it's just nuts.
There's more people. There's a bigger market for gaming, and there's good equipment that's put out there. Like, it's Man, I don't know. I'm not in the gaming scene. I haven't touched a video game in years, at least 3 years. But I like it. Every now and then I go on YouTube and I see an old game shop and I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. The old Batman games, or Mario 64, great.
Yeah,
I love that game.
Yeah,
I love that game. It's cool.
Because you've been doing other things, haven't you? There's 2 video clips that we've seen from you in the very recent past.
That's right. There's one in, oh God, what was the first one? November or October? Something like that. And then the second one, February. February. I'm pretty sure it was February. It might have been March, but pretty sure it was February. It dropped.
I do remember coming past your place and seeing the set as you were building it and just being like, whoa.
And dropping off the giveaway for Curtis. And
That's exactly right.
It was really cool. Yeah, and it was great seeing you and showing you around the place.
Thank you. Yeah, it was super nice, actually.
Yeah, but no, not going to be doing something like that for a while now because that was way too much. But the next thing, I probably will do something along the lines of it, but I'm learning as I go, I don't have to go all out on a project like that again. Like, it's cool to experiment and it really pushed my boundaries and it tested my knowledge of building art in general, art on a huge scale. I mean, a spaceship film set is, nothing to laugh about. It's ridiculous. It was huge and it took months to create and a lot of money, but no, it was worth it. It was worth it. I look back on it and, as an artist, you look back and you go, oh, fuck, man, I could have been done better or this or that. It's just, that's the artist's problem, isn't it? But still, I can look back at it from like a viewer's perspective and be like, this is really good. Like, I'm really happy with the way it turned out. And, next time I got different techniques and, and Ollie, cinematographer, shout out Ollie, absolute legend, absolutely amazing. Can't hype him up enough. It's just incredible what he can do and the equipment that he has and he's learning too, and we're getting better, and more projects going to come in the future. So at the moment, I'm building the studio at home.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, and my big thing is like I don't want to have some towel around your head, phone camera, like none of that. Yeah, phone mic, none of that. So I want to do it properly. I want it to be like a studio like this one, and so we've got cinema installation from a guy in. I can't even pronounce the town, but it's far away. It's like he's near Diamond Creek, so about an hour and 10 out or something like that. Yeah, and he used to do demolition, and he took down a bunch of rolls of like cinema insulation from like the walls of the theater, and he kept it in rolls and he sells it off, and we bought it all, and we're like, fuck it, we're gonna buy it, and we've got other insulation and stuff, and I'm gonna do it proper. Get a bunch of good equipment. Like, I want a 7B for sure. I've been looking at 7Bs. They've treated me very well, these ones. Perfect blend of high end and low end. The perfect, like, they've walked the fence really good. It's clear audio. It's like the perfect all round microphone. Like, you can do female vocal work. You can do rap, singing, death metal. You know what I mean? It's just all around good. That's why I'm going to get this for sure. I got a computer. I've got the computer from my mate, actually sold it to me, and I've got a mouse and keyboard. I've got an interface. I've got a Scarlett Solo, but I'm probably going to look at getting something like that. That is ridiculous. That is amazing. This has treated me very well as well. Yeah, I can tell, dude. That is something else. I mean, for the viewers at home, this is an Apollo X4, which I paid far too much for, but it's done its job perfectly, and I do recommend it, definitely. It's great. It's perfect for what you want to do. It's got the mic inputs. It's got 4 of them, does it? Wow. It's got 4 of them. Look, if you want to geek out on the nerdy stats, right? Yeah. It's got 4 preamps. It's got ADAT in and out. It's got at least, have we got 6 line outs at least? Yeah. That's awesome. 2 headphones, 2 instrument inputs as well. Look, it's just handled everything I've had to throw at it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how you'd go about tracking a full band. You'd probably want some sort of external preamp for that. Yeah. But as far as, a singer-songwriter who does podcasts, far out. It's been great. It's perfect. And the plugins that you can get for it too. I mean, they're so expensive, but I've only got a couple of them, right? But they are good. Yeah, I can only imagine. I mean, shit. When you look at equipment like this, it's on the more expensive side of the spectrum, but it's worth it. And it's worth it for what you're doing. That is a flex on the table, right? And it's a subtle flex too. It's like, oh yeah, you wouldn't really know what that is by looking at it. No, but even to someone who came in and looked at it and be like, what the fuck is that? What is that? Yeah.
So you're starting off your studio journey now. And so
Yes.
with your tracks, right? I mean, if we can circle back to Artifact, right?
Yeah.
Which is the one with the science fiction
Yes.
clip. That's right. What was sort of your inspiration for that track? I mean, you've got this dark vibe with a sense of humor, yeah?
Yeah. It's strange. I don't know. It came to be just because. Oh God, I was just looking. I've made the track first. I had the track done just after I made the first track, like literally within that month in November 2022. I had the track finished, mixed, mastered, and then I sat on it for a while. I went on a holiday to Queensland in December through early January. And the whole time, I was just looking, seeing, listening to the track, and like I base the video. At least in the past, I've based the video off of what the audio sounds like to me. So I'm hearing like synths, the way it's mixed and shit. I'm thinking it sounds like sci-fi to me personally. So I'm like, I could do something with this. So, and so people ask like, what does the track mean? I don't know. I don't know. I got costumes made, and I made a cool set. I made a few sets, and I did script it. Like I had an idea, but there's no, like, you can make of it what you want. It's not a linear story, kind of like there is you can follow it, and there is a sequence of events that happen. But at the end of the day, you reflect on it, and you're like, what was that in his suit? Where were they? What was the threat? And you don't really know. Like, it's just a jumble, and I like it that way. I like it to be vague. Same with the first one, but the first one was more simple. But
that was the one in the mansion.
Yes.
Is that near Caulfield, that
Yes,
one?
Labassa.
What's it called? Labassa. Yeah.
Yes, in Caulfield,
Yeah.
Awesome. Just
I've driven
awesome
past
spot.
it before, but I've never been in it. And I was like, wow,
My
that looks
God,
lush.
It's a trip in there. It's a blast from the past. I mean, it was a oh God, I don't want to mess up my facts here, but it was a home, and then it got subdivided. It was actually a large space. Like they had acres of property, and then they sold it off to for Caulfield, and now there's houses around it. They just kept the block with the house on it, and they subdivided the top floor, and it's got all these little like windy rooms, and half of them you can't enter because they're so old that they are literally like crumbling.
No floorboards, yeah.
Literally, like outside, we were shooting outside. There was a drone shot. It's like 12 seconds long in the video, probably not even. I'm just walking across the thing, outside balcony, and like you can't see in the video, but behind the pillars, like the at the balcony, there's just like tape and like don't step here, and there's tiles missing and shit, and it's like, man, like it's scary. You can't go at the edge. Like I couldn't have walked up to the edge and looked over if I wanted that for the video. Like you just have to walk across, kind of. So it was a very heritage mansion. We couldn't put the camera dolly on the table without their special runner, which they ran across. So they really do things properly there, and I respect it. And paid my money and shot there, and I got the look I wanted. I filled the vibe, and then editing came around, and we did it all in the same day. It was perfect, and then I just dropped it. It was good.
It's funny when you see those examples of like dilapidated luxury. You know what I mean? It's like if you see like an AMG Mercedes up on bricks, or with no wheels, right? And it's like, oh wow, like that was the route.
That was the best in town. You know what I mean? Yeah.
One day you're the rooster, the next day you're the feather duster. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of an example of that, right?
Yeah. No, but it's good. It's just I'm glad that they haven't knocked it down. I'm glad that there's a heritage law around that, because it stands in time. You can go to it. They've done something with it. They've shot so many things there. They shot Miss Fisher Murder Mysteries there, which is on Netflix.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I'm looking at scenes and I'm like, I went saw that staircase. I've been in that kitchen. You know what I mean? Like, it's cool. It's cool to look around and see. And I don't know. Would I shoot there again? Probably not, because I've done it now. I'll move on.
Yeah.
But in the future, sure, I'd go to another one. I'd try something new and see where we go. But I'm trying to keep stylistically like my projects different from each other, just because like you can't do this and then this and then this, but you can kind of branch out a little bit. Look at Tyler the Creator. Perfect example.
Yeah, that guy.
He recreates himself every album. You know what I mean? And but it's still his style. He's still got his sound, which is authentic to himself and his personality, and so it's great influence. You know what I mean? For any artist, I think to look at him and be like, wow, he's really inspiring. Same with plenty of other artists, but you know what I mean? Of course, like if you're the same person for your whole career, it's gonna die. You know what I mean? It's not going to be interesting, you know? And I've seen it with a couple of artists and they do all right now, but it's like, change it up. Try something new. You know what I mean? Add a new instrument into your beat, you know? Add something different that will make you stand out, but in a new way that like will be refreshing to your audience. So they see a different side of you.
David Bowie is a huge influence of mine, and he did that, I think, throughout his entire career. You know, like he started off doing this sort of jangly folk stuff in the 60s, and then he's doing, you know, sort of white-eyed soul, you know, blue-eyed soul, sort of R&B, and then he's doing drum and bass in the 90s.
Awesome.
And he was, and he sort of embodies what you were talking about, right? Where just, you know, if you... What was he saying? He's saying, if you're not slightly uncomfortable, then you're probably not doing the right thing, right? If you are that little bit out of your comfort zone, right, then you're pushing yourself as an artist. Good
thing about artists like David Bowie, Michael Jackson, you know, artists of that era, Prince, they were their brand.
Yes,
so like, you know what I mean? It's not about whatever they wanted to put on would have been them. Would have been unique to them. Michael Jackson got to walk on stage in a miniskirt, right? And it would be like, it's just Michael doing Michael. You know what I mean? Like it's just the way it is, and that's what I'm hoping to get through my music career. Is, you know, like I'm known for my face and not for what I'm wearing at the time. You know, because that gets old, and I love playing around with fashion and seeing what works, and so I wouldn't want to be known for one thing, which is probably also another one of the reasons I stopped wearing like TNs. Is because
what are TNs for us millennials?
For those who don't know, TNs are a brand of shoe that Nike released in 1998.
Yes,
and they came out in 98. They were a little bit popular.
They're the white suede sort of ones, are they? Or no?
They can be. There is a suede model. They're very common nowadays. They're very popular. But there was a quote unquote golden era. The shoe got taken. They were actually made for pregnant mums. They were a pregnant shoe because of the bubbles in the Air Max, and they were like a comfort shoe, quote unquote. But because it looked so angry, it's such an angry looking shoe. I wish I had them on because I could show you. But like people immediately from like not gangs, but like you know like. Not even gangs, but like angsty teenagers who are
people who want to
rebellious and fighters, and you know your weed smokers, your drinkers, and that type of thing. They started adopting the shoe, and then it became Lad, and then you know you got Eshe and fucking God,
Adley
drives me nuts, man. I hate it so much. And you know there was a point where. You wear TNs and you walk down the street and you're in Eshe.
Oh, red TNs?
Red TNs, big one. But TNs in general,
once.
I mean, TNs in general are a big one. I mean, I think it was Sydney that banned red shoes at clubs because they were associated with violence. Yeah, it's crazy. Wow. Like you can't wear them, and red TNs are like the worst of the worst. Like I had a red and black pair of Hates, and man, they're literally called Hates. Like they are scary, and you can't walk down the street without someone being like, oh, Shay. And it's like, fucking, man, come on. I'm just trying to wear a cool pair of shoes. Like, but no, I still wear them every now and then. I got a couple of pairs lying around. I ran a selling account. I used to sell them. And I've met up with every fucking Eshe that you've ever seen in your life. Like, man, plenty, and dodgy as well. But no, I did a lot of shipping. After a while, the meetups got a bit heated.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, we're going to start to, you know, ship. And I started to go into the post office instead. But I stopped that now. I do that on the side a little bit, but the account's pretty inactive. I just like to branch out now. I'm wearing Adidas shoes now. So, yeah, so it's different. You know, you still catch me in TNs or 95s, you know, your Air Max 90s, that type of stuff. But basically TN is still associated with that kind of violent culture. And it's not something that I want to be a part of long term. And it's not what I want to brand myself as. Because people who do that, it's kind of a dead end. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, you've got more in your life to talk about, I think, these days.
Exactly. There's more on the plate. There's more stories to tell. I'm not just a violent kid running around anymore. You know what I mean? Like I have old lyrics and it's like puffer jackets, TN prints through your grass and stuff like that. And it's like, I look back on that and I'm like, I don't look at it with like, ugh, but I look at it like, you know, it's not who I am anymore. You know, my lyrics now are so different. And, you know, even like, I mean, people haven't really seen Mason Moon yet. Like they haven't, because what even Artifact, like the video is where I was at the time, the song is old. Like, it's from the first one. So
how old was Artifact? When did you first started working on Artifact?
November last year.
Oh, okay. Yep.
And I dropped in February. So
hey, that's pretty quick. That's not too bad.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's a quick turnaround, but still, like, evolved so quickly. I've got a song that I've been sitting on for months as well.
Yeah.
Actually, it's another one,
Yeah.
but it's great. It's really good. I mixed it at home, and it's amazing. I'm definitely going to release it down the line. It's my best work. It's the closest song I've made that's as close to perfect as it could be right now.
How it sounded in your head, hey?
Yeah. Just it feels the vibe it's going for perfectly. And so I'm playing with ideas for videos at the moment. You know, I don't want to go all out. I was going to again. I was going to do a different theme, but I don't know. I want to be human in my videos. I think now I'm past the point of being like a character. You know what I mean? So like the first one's a good example because it's just me. You know, I'm in cool clothes walking through a mansion. If I could do more stuff like that, that'd be cool. You know, different environments and scenarios. You know, like I can play around with ideas. I could be on a boat. You know, why not? You know, and I don't know. I've been thinking, and it's like I don't want to be another character. You know, like I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I dabbled, but for the next one, I'll probably go in a different direction with it. Yeah.
As an artist, there's always some performance in there. There's always a little bit. I find that you're always presenting a character in some way as a performance, but there are ways of making the character more transparent sometimes.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
More authentic to yourself. Yeah.
For the people at home that might not have heard your music, how would you describe it?
Oh man, this is tough. It's a blend. It is hip hop. There's a bit of singing in there, I guess. It's an R&B blend, kind of, but not really. Right now, if you looked at it, just out of the two songs I have, you'd say it was hip hop. And
is it just the two you've got out so far?
Just two. Yeah. So I've done another music video in the past. I've done 2 other music videos in the past. They probably won't see the light of day. It's not something that I dumped my heart and soul into. You know what I mean? And they were group projects. So. I'll see what, you know, where the road takes me. Maybe in the future, once I have a following, I'll just release it as a meme. You know, yeah, look what I did.
As an old mixtape.
Literally like something old. But for now, I'm happy to, you know, keep going. And, you know, I want to get this studio done. And like, like it's been on my mind. Like, it's been plaguing my mind. Like, I haven't released since February. What am I going to do? We're in May. And it's like, I don't care. I don't really care that much. You know, like at the start, I'm just placing the building blocks. Trying to find myself and see what my audience like. And like, I don't know, it's at a point where the audience is small. So like, it's kind of like I can do what I want and the freedom of that is great because I'm not a big artist. I don't have millions of people listening to me. And, you know, I put out something like, well, that's not you. Fuck off. Get out of my feed. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't want to be that. You know, I want to be somebody who puts out and it doesn't matter what I put out. You're going to like it. You know what I mean? And so I'm building myself to that point. And having a studio is going to be really great, especially at home, you know.
Well, if you've got that studio that you can just go out to whenever you feel inspired, right?
Exactly.
Then that can't help but, you know, increase your output.
I can't not be there. You know what I mean? Like I'm at home and I'm bored. You know what I mean? I come home from work and I'm bored. I'm like, I'm just going to get in the studio. You know, what are we doing on the weekend? It's raining. Go to the studio, you know, like make it a good environment for people, you know, decorate it nicely.
Get the mood lighting. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Yep. Good. I want warm white like this.
Yep.
Yeah,
no,
nice.
3200 Kelvin. No worries.
It's nice.
I can give you the specs. Don't worry.
Send me afterwards after the podcast.
Now, do you make your own beats as well?
I do.
Yeah, cool.
I've made the beats for my songs.
What's your process for doing that? Like, do you use a particular DAW for your stuff?
That's an interesting question. I use Ableton. So I don't care. I use Ableton, you know.
So do I.
I haven't actually looked into like FL or Logic or anything that much. So even though I am an Ableton guy, I don't really know the other DAWs, but I'm very content with Ableton. It does exactly what I want it to. I love the warp feature. I love it. I love warp. I don't care. Call me an Ableton dummy. I don't care. I love it. It does exactly what I want it to do. I am confident in it now. I was using it. I've been on it for 3 years, I think now, learning it. So I'm pretty fluent in it. And, I understand mixing, mastering, all that type of stuff. So last year at Box Hill was
I was going to say, because
really
you studied hip hop here at Box Hill, didn't you? Yeah, that's the diploma.
Hip hop and sound production, I think that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
so Joel Ma and Enfa?
Yep. Joel Ma, Enfa, Dan Rizk.
Yep. Of course, Dan Rizk.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Diz.
Oh, and Diz one.
Yeah. And those were the teachers. I don't want to miss anyone out. I think those were all the teachers for the year. Yeah. And it was great. It was great. And I met all the Box Hill boys. Awesome.
Yes.
I can't wait to collab with you motherfuckers, man. I know you're watching this. We are collaborating. Sam, Balali, Tyrone, all of them. Matt, Josh, Saib, all of them. I can't wait. And I can't wait to do features and collaboration and just make the beat and spend the day. You know what I mean? Just spend the day, make a banger, and then a few weeks from now, we'll make a video for it. And I want to be posting more stuff like that, like off the cuff stuff,
Oh, no, I remember seeing all you guys, because people may or may not know, I'm in a band called Strawberry Lipstick, right?
Yep.
And we had a performance at Box Hill October, Halloween last year. Yep. And then all those names that you mentioned there, I think were on stage doing a support act for us. Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So that was great to see some faces with the names as well, right?
Yeah, no, they were great performances. Hyro had a great one. His song was so sad, man. He had the audience crying, man. That was incredible. And then, Josh came in and he did that song and it was incredible. Another, downbeat, but Josh is so good. His lyrics are so smooth and it's kind of like that. Oh God, I'm not going to say the artist because I don't want to make a fool of myself. But I'd compare it to like maybe Polo G, but it's kind of it's like it's modern for sure. It's trappy, but it's melodic and it's very, I don't know, the best way to describe it would be smooth. He makes smooth music, smooth trap music.
Is that kind of like Drake for us old people?
It's kind of like the beats are kind of like Drake, but the style is more so hard to explain, man. Stretched out. It's more like different. I don't know. It's like Drake is very much a hip hop artist. At the end of the day, he's a hip hop artist. He does do a lot of that type of stuff, and I can see a lot of Drake in Josh. Drake and Josh, haha. But yeah, no, I can see a lot of it. But like, I don't think that's his main influence. I don't know, but he's really good. Balali went up there and he did it, and he did a song with Sam, and they work so well together. They just click the two of them. It's amazing. And me and Zach did Samurai, which hasn't even come out yet. It hasn't come out, but it will. It will drop. No, it was good. It was a great performance, and you guys were amazing.
Thank you.
You guys were really good. So cool with the makeup you had on, which is awesome.
Well, it was Halloween, so
I
spent like 5 minutes in the bathroom, just like
no, just awesome.
I look back at the videos and it's like, I looked unhinged. That was the idea I was going for.
In the summer
my
shorts,
pink shorts and my mullet. Yeah, it was like
just awesome. When you called me and Zach up, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay, because I didn't see it coming. We were just
neither did we. Our guitarist broke a string, and we're like,
the E chord, wasn't it, or something?
I'm not sure. I was freaking out because I'm like, we haven't got a second guitar.
Yeah.
I hope someone's got a spare string. Yeah. But you guys covered us really well on that.
We fumbled for about 10 minutes and then freestyled a little bit.
It was a whole lot better than silence. It was a whole lot better than my dad jokes for 10 minutes, I'll tell you that much.
It was all right. Next time we'll get up there and we'll just freestyle straight away. But we got up there and we're like, what are we going to do? And what's the BPM? And we're like,
because I think you had our drummer doing a live beat.
Yeah, he was. And we're like, do like a 140 BPM. And the guy was going and it wasn't a rap beat. And I was like, I don't know what to do. It was awesome though. It was a really great night, and my parents were there. Everyone's parents were there. It was great, and it was great for them to see how we operate as a group. That's the kind of thing I want to see. My mum backstage, and it's nice. And my brother was there, and oh god, I love him. I love Curtis. He's just amazing. He's such a good brother. He empties my bin for me in my room. That's how you know he's a good brother.
Yeah, that's a pretty good brother.
That's a good sign. Like, I go in there and he's like, I emptied your bin. I'm like, okay. It's just little things like that I'm just like, you're a good man. You're a good guy.
Have you been doing any more live work since then? Do you do gigs very often?
I did Blue Bar. I did a couple of open mics.
Where's that again? Blue Bar?
That's Chapel Street.
Yep.
So it's near somewhere bar. It's near Electric. It's like the club.
Yep.
They did open mic nights. And I did a couple there, but now I think they've moved to Laundry Bar now.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
On, not Gertrude Street, Johnston Street, yeah.
Oh, could be. I don't know. I've never actually been to Laundry, but I would get down there. Yeah.
Laundry, I think, is a bit of a hip hop institution, isn't it? Like, there's a lot of gigs there.
It's big for that type of stuff. Yeah, they have like touring artists and stuff. Husky's coming down there in this month, I think. Going to Laundry, doing a set there. So yeah, I'll look forward to going and see him there. But live stuff at the moment is not the top of my priorities, but it's definitely something I want to look into in the future. It's definitely something I want to do. Like, I actually love the presence, the stage presence, and when you got a good group of people, or even just one, good mate there, like I riff off of Zach. It's so great. Like, and we got to get more comfortable and more compatible in that, but that's with time and with touring and that type of stuff. But for now, I'm just studio. Start putting out the actual, music, and I do want to do touring because I know I could land sets and stuff like that. I'm very excited for that. I'm really excited. Yeah.
I think a lot of people start with the studio stuff first because then you're sort of building up the repertoire.
Yep.
But then once you've got that half an hour set or something, then it starts feeding back into itself. It's like once you start doing the tracks live, when you've got a new one, you can try it out live before you go and release it as well.
I'm so excited for that, and I'm so grateful to you for giving us that set because it was seriously, it was great. It was great, and we had so much fun that night, and I can't wait to do it again because I'm sure we'll do it again. And so whenever Strawberry Lipstick are out and they want to know,
look, if we need some supports, definitely
invite me. Even if you don't, I'll just be there.
Yeah,
I'll just be there. I'll take Zach and we'll sit there and, pray to God an E string breaks.
Well, look,
hope not.
It seems like every gig we have it's kind of a joke in our band that there's always going to be a string that breaks.
That's a good thing. That's like your niche.
Oh, no. When we make it big, we will buy a second guitar, right? But because our guitarist is left-handed, it's not like there's always a spare one.
Oh, right, yeah.
It's like, we would really need to buy him a second one.
A second left-handed guitar.
Second left-handed
That's
guitar.
tough. Yeah.
One of these days. Maybe we'll just find a beat-up one somewhere.
Yeah, Gumtree. Perfect spot.
Yeah. Just a beat-up old Squire or something.
Facebook Marketplace. Just in case. Carry it around.
Yeah. Easy. Well, we'll wrap it up there, Mason. That's been awesome.
Very good.
Too easy.
Yep.
Now, how do people find you on the internet?
Go straight to Instagram or YouTube.
Yep.
There's
just Mason Moon?
At The Mason Moon.
The Mason Moon.
That's where I'll be.
Except no imitations.
Yeah. So
not a Mason Moon, it's the.
I'm not. I do have TikTok, but I don't post on. I don't really use TikTok. I will in the future. But right now it's at Instagram and YouTube. That's where you'll find me the most. Next few months gonna be ramping up. Once the studio's done, it's no punches pulled. We're going at it. So
easy.
This is the year, and I'm not dormant. I'm working and I'm producing, and it's going to be a great year for all of us.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, it's going to be, I'm so excited. So stay tuned and, dope. Just, I'm so hyped for the year. Yeah.
It'll be your year, mate. It'll be your year.
It'll be our year. Yeah. It'll be our year. It's great. And I can't thank everybody enough. I mean, I've got a great crew around me. I've got a great crew.
Helps, doesn't it? It absolutely helps. That community, that crew. It's always essential.
Always down to ride, always down to go and do. That's all. You know what I mean? That's all I care about. Like, let's go out there and let's do it. That's it. That's the take.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah. Dope.
Too easy.
All right,
Thanks
awesome.
again.
No worries.